Okay, so here's a video that I've wanted to do for a while now. A few videos ago, I showed you guys my Harbor Freight 350 watt power station, and I got that about 10 months ago on a great sale at Harbor Freight. And I intend to use that for hurricane power outages, although we didn't have any hurricanes this year, which is good. And also in the back of my Toyota 4Runner, when I'm actually evacuating from a hurricane, or the biggest thing that I plan to use it for is car camping, and it runs my 12-volt refrigerator just perfectly. It'll run it for about 10 to 12 hours without being recharged. But that's the operative thing, recharging. If you're in a hurricane and the power's out, how are you going to recharge it? Well, that's where a solar panel comes in. And the nice people at MHPOWOS, I don't know how you say that, so we're just going to call it the MHPOWOS. We're just going to call that the MH panel, okay? Sent me their 120 watt portable solar panel. So we're going to go down and take a quick look at it, and then I'm going to show you a real world application on charging my Harbor Freight 350 watt power station. So let's go. Okay, here we go. Let's get into some technicals with the MHPOWOS panel. We're just going to call it the MH panel. First of all, when it comes, it's all folded up. It's like a notebook, you know, and it's got a nice integrated carry handle, and that thing's like indestructible. But this whatever they've got on the outside, this stuff is like indestructible, some kind of fabric coating, and that's really, really cool. I'll show you that in a while. But let's look at a couple of specifics, and they're right on the outside of the thing here. 24 volts at 120 watts, open circuit voltage. This is the important one, short circuit current 6 amps. That's the most this panel is going to give you, is 6 amps out, which is really, really cool, because my Harbor Freight 350 watt power station, it can only handle a maximum of 6 amps in. So I doubt that this panel is going to give you 6 amps out. If I can get 4, maybe 5, I'll be happy. So let's turn it around and see what it comes with. Okay, this is really cool. Okay, all right. They give you some nice instructions. Really, really cool. They give you half a dozen carabiners. You're going to see where these come in a few minutes. They give you about an 18-inch USB-C cable, charging cable, with a little FireWire connector in there, I think it is, to charge some Apple devices and stuff. This is only like 18 inches long. So if you're going to use this panel for charging your cell phone, you're an idiot. It can do a lot more. So this is kind of, useless. So I'm not really going to use that. Plus it's too short. Now you got all of the main charging cable. And this main charging cable, this end, simply plugs in to the hole right there. And then you plug this end into whatever connector your power station will handle. Well, this thing's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different connectors. The only one that's compatible with the Harbor Freight is the Anderson connector. And we're going to go over that in a second. You've got a USB-C port here and 2 USB-A ports. I don't know what you're going to use. I don't know what you're going to use those ports for, you know, unless, like I said, you're charging a laptop or a phone or something like that. But if you're going to charge something like that, you really don't need this high of a wattage of panel. I want to be able to charge up my Predator in 5 or 6 hours, and we're going to see if that's going to do that. Okay. Now, like I said, the only connector that was compatible with my Harbor Freight was the Anderson connector. Okay, when I got it, the polarity or the plugs were switched. The negative plug was on this side, and the positive plug was on that side, and that matched. It didn't match the back of my Harbor Freight power station, and I thought, you know, that's screwy. This is not going to work. I'm going to have to build a new extension panel. And I said, wait a minute. You can change the Anderson connectors. So you can see the Anderson connectors are side by side. All you got to do is pull this shielding back, and the Anderson connectors were like this. Say this is the negative side and this is the positive side. Well, all you do is pull back the shielding and the Anderson connectors slide apart. And all you need to do is just put them to the correct orientation, the correct polarity, slide them back together, and pull this shielding back up. Now it works perfectly. This is not a very long cord. This is about maybe 20 inches or so. So I'm going to have to buy an extension Anderson plug cable, and those are only 10 or 11 bucks on Amazon. So now I'm going to fold this out on the floor, and we're going to see how it looks. Okay, so here we are with the panel. Like I said, really nice carry handle, but this thing really shines when you fold it out. Nice positive Velcro enclosure. Now, this thing just lays back like this. Now you fold it out 2 spaces, and that's your entire panel. This thing folds out in like seconds. Now, here's where the carabiners come in. At this end, there's grommets at each end and in the middle, and there's 2 grommets down there at this side. So you can hang it in 2 different orientations, and that's very important because I want to hang this from the outside of my Toyota 4Runner. So I'm probably going to use this side, carabiners on this side, and all we're going to need is 2. So you just put a carabiner in, another one in. Now you're ready to hang the panel. Okay, just a little caution on how you fold this back up. This folded like this, okay? That's the way you need to fold it back up. If you try to fold it like this and like that, it's not going to work. And you may kink some wires and it may not be too good for you. But you're going to fold it up, fold it back in, and then fold it back in. And now you fold it up just like a notebook. Pow! Goes right back together. Okay, let's go out and put it on a Toyota 4Runner and see how it works. Okay, when you're testing the panel like this, it's really important that you set it up exactly how you want to use it in the field. And this is exactly how I'm going to do it. Okay, that's exactly how I want to hang this on the Toyota 4Runner, because I want the power cable to come out down here. That's the power connection, and I want to be able to plug it in to my Harbor Freight 350 watt power station. Plus, it's going to give a little bit of shade to the inside of the 4Runner. So now I'm going to go out and get the power station, and we're going to hook it up, and we're going to see how much power this can generate. Okay, here we are. It is 10:45 in the morning. This power station is at 80% power. I'm going to keep this plugged in and see how long it takes it to get to 100%. So let's plug in the Anderson connector. Okay. Bam. We should be charging right now. Okay. And we are charging. Now let's go see how we're charging. Okay. Like I said, it's 10:45 in the morning and we're plugged in 100% sun, and we are getting, man, I don't know if you can see that or not, but we are getting 47 watts. This thing's not going to focus. We are getting 47, 46. I saw it jump to around 50 watts. So we're at 81% power right now. I'm going to leave it for a little while and come back and see what we got. So hopefully we can get maybe 80 to 100 watts out of it. So I'll be back. Okay, here we are at high noon. I decided to make a couple of changes. Well, the first thing is, I didn't think that I was at peak sun, so I decided to unplug the power station, cover it up with a towel so it doesn't get too hot, because it's pretty hot out today. And I decided to start our charge and test at what I consider peak sun, and it is right at 12 noon. And also, I noticed that the panel resting against the back of the car was getting really, really hot on the back of the panel. And as you know, the hotter the solar panels get, the less efficient they are. So I put a couple of towels behind the panel. And what I did is I just propped it out with a couple of pieces of wood to give it some airspace. And now, when I feel the back of the panel, it's still warm, but it's not smoking hot like it was. So I think we are at just about peak sun right now. It is 1 minute after 12. So let's go down and we're going to plug in this power station. It's at 81% right now. And let's see how many watts we're getting. I'm going to use USB-C as well as Anderson plugs, and then I'm going to do a test with both of them, and let's see how many watts and volts and whatever the hell we get. Okay, we are right back here with the power station. We're right at 81%. So let's plug in the Anderson connector and see what we're getting. All right. We are getting 60, 69, 70, much better than before, 71, 70, 71, okay, 72, looks like we're going to get between 70 and 72 watts. Hey, okay, that's doing pretty good. Now let's plug in the USB-C and see what happens. Okay, we've got the USB-C plugged in. Let's plug it in the power station. Now let's see how many watts we're getting. 25, 32, 39, 46, 52, 54, 53, 44. Okay, it's jumping around a little bit. 55, 45. Okay. That USB-C plug is a max of 3 amps. So I think that's just about as much as we can get. So let's try both of them just for kicks. Okay, I just plugged in the Anderson power cord just for kicks. We're getting 63, 67, 60. All right, we're probably maxing it out. I don't think trying both of them is the way to go. So I'm going to take out the USB-C and just let it run on the Anderson connector and see what we're getting. All right. Yeah, 67, 68, 69, 70. I saw it go up to 75 watts a little while ago. But, 71, 70, 71 watts. It says 53 minutes to full. So I'm going to come back in 53 minutes and we are going to see where we are at. Okay. We had a big cloud come over right as I was ending the last clip, and it was still charging 60, 61 watts. Now we're looking at 79 to 80 watts. So that's pretty darn cool, you guys. It's like 12:15 in the afternoon. It says 37 minutes to full charge. We're getting 79, 80, 81 watts. I am like really happy with that. And I know that some of it has got to be due to the increased airflow on the back of the panels. Before the back of the panels were really, really hot, and now, even though while they're warm, they're not smoking hot. So I think the efficiency of the panels is starting to come out. We're right at 78 watts, and I don't know whether you guys can see the screen, but just trust me, it is 78, 79. I saw 81 watts a couple of minutes ago, and we are in a direct sunlight. It is peak sunlight. So I'm going to let this charge, and then we're going to go back up to the workbench and see what we learned today. Okay, so here's a little update. I decided to break down my solar charging station out there, bring the panel in so they could cool down, and I could fold it back up. But I decided to finish charging the power station from the AC, so I plugged it into the AC, and look what I am getting. 79, 80 watts, 78 watts. Wow, that looks just like the power output that I was getting from the solar panel. Okay, that's very interesting. So let's go up and talk about that. Okay, what did we learn today? We learned that as a source of backup power, the MHPOWOS 120 watt folding solar panel is just great. I mean, obviously solar panels of any type, whether they're hard panels or flexible panels or fold-up panels like this, they all have their limitations when it comes to heat. The hotter it is, the lower their efficiency. So when I padded the back of the car to give it some insulation and I propped it out to give it some airflow, the back of the panels cooled down like 50% and the efficiency went up in the panel. So if you're going to use a panel like that, make sure that you have some airflow behind it, or you have some towels or something behind it. But that thing performed excellently. It was charging in the full sun, 79 or 80 watts, and I got this power station right down that I just showed you. It's plugged into the wall, charging 79 or 80 watts. So I mean, you'll never be out of power if you use it with a reasonable power station like this. You'll always have power. I mean, for years and years and years. Plus, this is a 100% integrated kit with a nice carry handle. You've got all of your wires in here, and it folds over and it Velcros. It's like carrying a little briefcase. So, I think this is a great panel for the money. If you look down in the description, I think there's a discount code for there. They're having a Black Friday sale in just a couple of days. So if you're on the fence about this and you're kind of hesitant, you don't know how it's going to work, take it from me, it's going to work great. So once again, with my review of the MHPOWOS 120 watt folding solar panel, this is Matt the Old Floor Boy, and I will see you on the trail.